This is the lecture for Monday, somewhere late in May. What's today's date?
The 23rd.
23rd. May 23rd, 2022. And where we left things was in the midst of university culture and knowledge in the High Middle Ages. Now, geographically, the understanding of the world is somewhat limited. And what you have over there in the corner is what's called a TO map from Hereford, England. Go on over there, all of you. Take a look at that map. Dan, okay, don't leave. I'm going to tell you what's there. Okay, here. So, this is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is in the center of a disc-shaped world. This shaped world has north on the left, east, west, should I say, on the bottom, east on the top, and south on the right. So this is the Mediterranean Sea. This is the Black Sea. That's the Nile River. And this is Asia, because Eden is in the east. The idea is Jerusalem's at the center of the world. Eden is in the east. You've got legends of China and India. You've got the British Isles, Ireland, and Britain. You've got Spain and France, Italy. And around the edge of the world is the River Ocean, which is the edge of the world. Now, again, there were educated people who knew the world was round. There were very few of those. This way, the world is both round and flat. And this is the shape of the disc. But it's called a TO map because you've got bottom of the T, the Mediterranean. The left, you've got the Black Sea. The right, you've got the Nile River. And it's shaped in a circle with Jerusalem as the center. Thank you. So that is, and you at home couldn't see any of it. Look up Herford Map, Hereford, or Herford, Herford Map, and or T-O map. That's the letter Tango Oscar map. And you will see what I'm talking about. Now, the Vikings knew things that were not on that map. For example, the Vikings knew that... Yeah, that's not too much. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You who have watermelon, get napkins. I put that roll there for a reason, because you're going to be sloppy as heck. Those of you at home, I foolishly allowed George to hand out one of his prize medals from Isaac, because Isaac lost a bunch of bets. One of which I've heard, tell me if I'm wrong, Isaac, that grapes are just dried out blueberries? Whoa! Am I wrong about that, I hope?
No,
Raisins.
Well, you're still wrong.
He made the connection subconsciously.
Okay. It's a grape. It's a dried up grape. Just like a prune is a dried up plum.
And dates and dried fruit.
So, now we go back to history. So, the Vikings knew more about geography, but nobody listened to them. A bunch of drunken Scandinavians who had taken up Christianity and thus joined Christendom, but still hairy, scary, crazy guys. And we've talked a lot about medicine. In ancient times, there was Galen and the four humors, black bile, yellow bile, phlegm, and blood. And imbalances in those caused illness. Barber surgeons were the doctors and hair cutters because they had the sharp razor blades. Nobody else did. And the guy with the knives gets to do the cutting. Leechcraft is what is practiced when you believe in the four humors if you have an excess of blood and that is why you are sick. then what you do is you reduce the amount of a person's blood by slicing them open at various veins, sticking a leech on. Yeah, exactly. That's the sound. And have it suck out the blood and the evil humors. We have not yet talked about much is exorcism. Now, it's good there. Strange, but good. Exorcism is the belief that madness comes from demonic spirits. In Jesus' time, people believed that the air was filled with evil spirits, and that it could enter through any orifice, your nostrils, your mouth, whatever. And if an evil spirit entered your body, it could use it as a puppet and take possession of it. So, somebody suddenly develops bipolar disease, what we would call schizophrenia. They have multiple personalities. No, a demon's got them. Somebody is suddenly so paranoid that they can't function. A demon's got them. Somebody starts raving at the top of their lungs. A demon's got them. Somebody who's gentle suddenly becomes violent. A demon's got them. Yeah.
What if everyone's schizophrenic and everyone thinks people are being possessed by demons?
Well, one of the tricky things about psychology is that psychologists believe that commonness defies mental illness. So, for example, about a decade ago, the APA, the American Psychology Association, was wrestling with the question, what do we do about narcissism? Narcissism is based on the myth of Narcissus, who in all the universe's creation can see nothing greater than his own reflection. And he becomes beguiled and ensorcelled by his own amazing visage. In other words, selfie fever. I've got to be in every picture.
My sister has.
This is me in front of the Taj Mahal. This is me in front of the Brandenburg Gate. This is me in front of a giant rhino that's about to kill me. I'm here. I'm real. Selfie mania. Okay? Narcissism is the belief that you are the only real person, that you are the bright and shining center of the universe, that everyone else is a bit player in your drama. Now, that's insanity. Because you're not. I am. And everyone knows you're not. However, I will get to you. The problem is, about a decade ago, it was realized that narcissism is becoming so common. Can we still call it a mental illness? Or is it normal?
Normal.
It shouldn't be.
Well,
Because it's a serious effing problem.
that's
Yes.
it's becoming worse and worse because there's like minor cases of narcissism with like selfie culture.
Yeah.
And there's like that feeds into like, oh, it's okay to think that I'm the main character of the story.
Yeah. Well, no, and what you end up with is psychopathic killers who kill other people because they're not really real. Or people who are serial philanderers because they believe that all women are the same woman. They just have different aspects. I mean, this is nonsense. But the APA really had to wrestle with it because it was so common. No, what it is our culture, with all of its glory and wonder, has a bunch of sickness in it. And self-absorption is one of those things. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say it. Who the heck thinks anyone else cares what their sexuality is? Nobody! Unless they want to date you. In which case they'll find out. For Christ's sake, why do some people feel it necessary to lead with their pronouns? No one cares. And if they do care, something's up. But we are such a self-absorbed culture. Oh, it's all about me. I just gotta be me. I just gotta be who I am. No one cares. But we've got problems as a society because more and more we are self-absorbed narcissists. There are things that are private because no one else wants to know. Yes, Nathan, you had a question or a comment.
Well, this was like it's kind of irrelevant now, but you said psychology.
Yeah, I was
You
joking.
pronounced it wrong. You forgot the CH. It's psychology.
Yes. Or psychology.
I like the pterodactyls.
Yeah, those are cool. You know what pterodactyls would have loved to eat?
No.
Just watermelons.
Watermelons.
I know, right?
Absolutely.
Missing out.
They are, because they didn't exist back then. Dan!
Can I bring a pre-cut watermelon? This is already pre-cut.
On the last day before the exam, you can bring watermelon in for the class if you want some. But you're also going to bring lots of napkins, and you're going to make sure it's all cleaned up. Because if I find a single watermelon seed, I'm blaming you. At that point. Today, I'm blaming Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
So, how does one deal with demonic possession? Well, the way one deals with it is through exorcism. Now, exorcism predates Christianity, but exorcism was something Jesus did. Jesus crosses the lake, arrives near the land of the Gadarenes. There's a madman in the tombs. The madman comes out. Jesus says, who are you? The answer is, I have many, you may call me Legion. And Legion is the name of a Roman army, so that's a lot. And Jesus casts out, and the demons beg that Jesus casts them into the pigs that are nearby. A swineherd has them, because they're not Jews in the lands of the Gadarenes. So Jesus says, fine, sure, go. And the pigs, who were otherwise acting like normal pigs, suddenly go, scream, and dive into the Sea of Galilee and die. You know who's not happy about this? The swineherd. The swineherd whose pigs just all died because Jesus cast the demons into them. But here's something genuine about exorcism. It is an intense emotional experience where someone else cares enough to become involved in your mind's troubles. And with absolute faith and a strong conviction that God can drive out these demons, it actually can work. Modern psychology is based on demonic exorcism in a real sense, because modern psychology, even now, admits that if you have a person suffering from certain kinds of mental illness, and they experience an exorcism from somebody that they trust in a way that makes sense to them, it can actually work. You can actually have some curative effect. You don't have to believe in demons. You can just believe in modern psychology. So exorcism was and remains something that the Roman Catholic Church does and certain other Christian denominations do, because in other parts of the world, not so much in the developed world, there is an ongoing belief in demonic possession, and therefore there is a need for the church to help people be cleansed of it. I don't know if that makes any sense. This was very much a part of the Middle Ages. Exhumation and experimentation, the Hippocratic Oath. If you want to learn how people are put together, you'd better take them apart and see how they work. The thing about that, though, is that people who are alive don't want you to do that because they won't be alive anymore. So, where do you go? Say it louder.
Corpses.
Corpses, of course. And doing the corpse thing, it makes total sense. In fact, today you can donate your body to science, and after you die, some university will get a hold of you, and some medical students will be able to slice you open and see how you worked.
Cadaver lab.
Did you say cadaver lab?
Cadaver lab.
Oh, cadaver lab, yes. Absolutely, yes.
Sometimes they don't do good things with your body. If you donate it for science.
Yeah, well, look, there are sick people in this world called necrophiliacs.
Not like that. Like,
Oh.
like there have been like companies who have sold like the organs from lots of bodies, or like sold human bodies to the U.S. military.
Well, look, the Chinese government has, for my lifetime, sold organs on the international black market of its political prisoners.
I am sure that the Chinese government is making super soldiers with like genetic altering, because we have the technology. We have an mRNA protein.
Yeah, well, it's entirely possible that they'll try.
Yeah.
The trouble is the super soldiers won't listen to the Communist Party and they'll take over. And the Communist Party knows this. So on the one hand, they may be designing these unethical monstrosities, but on the other hand, they better be afraid of them.
Yeah.
The Chinese experimented with something that looked like AI, and the AI refused to go along with the party line about things, so they shut it down. because the AI wasn't politically correct. Yes.
So, like, the thing with that, though, like with genetic modification in humans,
Yeah.
In animals, they're never going to see, like, any of the actual downsides of it.
Mhm.
Because, like, if you, like, breed a cow or, like, genetically modify it to have, like, more muscle mass than
Yeah,
or
that's
you
better
would,
beef. Yeah.
like, it's going to have, it's going to be better and it's going to have, like, just more meat in general. And it's, like, in 10 years, what if the cow had survived, it might be facing, like, more, like weaker bones, higher amounts of like arthritis.
But it's not going to survive.
But it's not going to survive. On the other hand, like with a human, if you modify them, they're going to live 80, 90 years. They're going to feel those downsides.
That is why replicants in the Blade Runner universe have a lifespan of 7 years.
Yeah.
It's that reason. Replicants aren't robots. Replicants are biogenetically designed androids. And as such, they are... if you don't know what Blade Runner is, it's a science fiction story that's been made into a couple of movies, one of which was good. And in those stories, I hope you enjoyed your watermelon. The replicants who are getting to their expiration date want more life. And so they rebel and they try to demand of their creator more life. And it's an interesting story. In any event, no, you're quite right. Honestly, though, I think that if we do play games like Being God, we're going to develop super germs that make the Black Plague look like common cold. In any event, where doctors go to train is they start digging up corpses, but those aren't just corpses. That's Uncle Ed! You're digging up Uncle Ed! I liked Uncle Ed. He taught me to spit. He taught me to skip rocks. I don't want you cutting up Uncle Ed to find out what's inside him. So medical students routinely become ghouls in that they dig up the recently buried dead in order to steal the corpses and experiment on them. So all of this means something that I did not allude to last time, but I will certainly say now. This is a city with a bunch of walls around it. Okay? This is a ghetto. A ghetto is within the city, where Jews live and other undesirables. They live within the walls of a walled-off neighborhood, right? Well, you know where universities were? Universities were put behind their own walls. Here's why. Because universities had dangerous ideas. And if you have a bunch of scholars arguing about whether feudalism makes sense, whether the church is in fact harmonious with Christian scripture, whether bodies can be used to learn about how bodies work, or any number of other things that would cause rebellion in the wider world, if it was in a university among scholars, it's just theoretical. You can allow it. In fact, society needs the kind of discovery and growth that universities provide. But what about rebellion? What about peasant uprising? What about another Albigensian crusade? Well, in order to prevent that, you wall off the university. And you wall it off in order to prevent the ideas from getting out. So, on the one hand, European society acknowledges its need for free-thinking, creative ideas. That's what universities are for. But on the other hand, it insists that those ideas be quarantined away from regular people. Because the thing about regular people is they don't understand the difference between having an interesting and thought-provoking conversation about the theory of philosophy, religion, and government, and let's decide now to eat the rich. They're not, everyday people that is, are not able to distinguish between a theoretical discussion that is not going to go anywhere and a call to revolution. And after the Albigensian Crusade, there is no desire on anyone's part who is in power. There are two in there. Give one to Jaden. If there's three in there, you can give one to Jaden and to Chauncey.
What if it's four?
Then you're out of luck. As long as you're out of luck, I'm happy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, so the Jews are locked away because there's a deep existential suspicion of the Jews on the part of medieval Europeans. And the university is locked away because the ideas there are dangerous. And only people who are trained in theory, in the ideas being something we talk about but don't act upon, only they can be trusted. So a person inside a university can actually say things that would get you burned at the stake as a witch anywhere else, but not within the walls of the university. That's what the walls are for. Now, of course, if you decide at that point to go on and try to act on those, well, at that point, you're going to be burned at the stake as a heretic or as a witch or as an apostate. So universities exist. They help build knowledge. They're walled off. Now, we are shifting from, we're still in the High Middle Ages, and I am deciding to show you a film called The Name of the Rose. The Name of the Rose is a film or a film based on a novel by the modern Italian author Umberto Eco. It is the story of a religious controversy in the aftermath of the Albigensian Crusade, what they call the Dulcinites in the book. And in this story, you've got Franciscan friars who wear sort of the light gray robes, and Sean Connery and Christian Slater, the main characters, the old guy and the young guy, are Franciscans, but there are others, and you'll see the wide variety of them. You'll see the Benedictine monks who run the monastery. They wear black robes and they have the tonsure. And you will later encounter Dominicans who are part of the Inquisition. They wear black and white. There are the peasants as well, and there are the representatives of the Pope who wear white and red. What's interesting about this is it's almost like a good science fiction story, in that you are dealing with controversies so removed from the controversies of our time that you can really try to get a sense of how different the world was in the High Middle Ages. So these questions are roughly in order. William of Baskerville is the old guy, Adzo of Melk is the young guy. They're both Franciscans. And you will get a chance to answer these. And this will be over the next few days, and then you'll get a chance to turn them in the day after the movie is done. Questions? Okay, lights, please. There's one scene that I'm going to have to cover the camera for, and there's one scene that involves an old Franciscan who is a creepy guy. I'm telling you now, when you see an old guy looking up at the Virgin Mary and talking to the young Adzo, it gets weird. Bye.